My sunshine, my sunshine, you're my sunshine. Wake in the morning, open my eyes, sunshine on my face, beautiful skies. You're next to me, laying in bed, not just the visions inside of my head. Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to another Wedding Wednesday. So today we're going to focus on the photographer, and like everything else, I'm sure you didn't give this much thought. So I just want to give you a few tips. As far as a photographer is concerned, try to get some referrals. I'm very sure you must have a friend, a relative, a coworker, someone that got married recently and could, tell you their experience with their photographer. I think it's best to get referrals because you could pick a photographer offline or social media or whatnot. And yes, the pictures may look great and everything, but then you don't know this person's background, you don't know this person's personality, you don't know if they're going to be rude and have an attitude, you don't know if they're going to be late for the event, if they're going to come to your wedding in shorts. There's a lot of things. Because if your wedding has a particular look that you're going for, and then this person shows up in jeans, and yes, they're the photographer, but they don't really have to look like you picked them up on the street. No offense to anyone, but I think it's best to get referrals. So at least people could be able to tell you, well, this person came on time. They weren't overdressed, but at least they had on a decent, shirt and a dress pants and a pair of dress shoes, and they look like they fit in, even, if they have to put the camera down, they still look like a guest. And they weren't rude. So you're looking reasonable price. You're also looking for, a nice, pleasant person who respects your wishes as far as what time they should be there, because I think it's disrespectful to show up to someone's event late. And if you could get a female photographer for the bride, I think it's great. Even if you have someone to just come take out pictures while you're getting dressed. Because if you get a male photographer, I mean, there's certain pictures you might want to take out just so you could keep for yourself in your lingerie or whatever. You won't be comfortable with that. So think about that unless you want to have your bridesmaid or someone else take those pictures, and then the photographer will just take pictures in your robe and pictures with you and your bridesmaid in their robe. Then when you get dressed, with you and your mom before you leave the house and stuff like that. Things with you putting on your jewelry, when you're finished dressing, holding your bouquet, people helping you with your dress, different pictures that are very, intimate and meaningful. And keep in mind, a lot of times you want to cut corners when it comes to certain things. The photographer, I don't think is something you want to cut, an item you want to cut corners on, for the simple fact of it can't be done over. I mean, it can, but you can't recreate the day to that, to that magnitude. So you want to put your best foot forward, go in the door and get a good photographer, and you would discuss with them what package they have, what package deals, whatever, and they would show different pictures they took in the past, and you could give them an idea of the type of pictures you want, based on what's the theme of your wedding and whatnot. Certain shots that you find glamorous or whatnot, and depicting whatever image you want to portray to put on your living room walls and stuff like that. So, because as I said, this is something chances are you're not gonna do over. It's like a once in a lifetime thing for the most part. So you want to pick someone who, you could show your vision to and say, well, I want to get pictures, but I want water fountain. I want to get pictures with, the bridesmaids together. And some people, especially if it's an experienced person, you don't have to tell them a lot of these things. They know it already. But if there's some particular picture that you have in mind that you would like to take that's kind of unorthodox, you will discuss all these things to see, where their mindset is in comparison to yours. because you have to kind of get along with this person for the day, and you don't want someone with attitude and they're yelling at you like, pose this way, yes, put the flower this way, I told you. And you know what I mean? So you have to you're looking for cost, but you're also looking for personality. You're looking for someone who's going to show up, on time and so on. So that's why I say referrals is the best, because at least you can speak to a few people who got married and kind of narrow it down. Even if you interview the person, as I said, and they show you the best pictures in the world, if they're showing up, looking untidy and they're late and they have an attitude, that's not going to help you. Especially, if you're trying to just save money. Yes, you would save money, and then you'll have horrible pictures to look at for the rest of your life. Because I've seen people got married and then they have all these pictures, like out of 100 pictures, maybe 10 of them are decent, and some of them are not worth putting in a frame to put on your living room wall or whatever. It's pictures with you eating or whatever like that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, when you narrow it down, it's like no picture is frame worthy, and you're upset, and then you spent all this money. Then you also have to ask if there are package deals and if you get a wedding album with it, etc. And whatever packages they have for, if you want duplicates of certain pictures, that when you get the pictures, the ones that you like the most, if you want duplicates, how much extra that will be, if you get the negatives, all these questions. So you want someone with a pleasant personality who is professional, and someone who's patient, who could walk you through all the different things. Well, I offer this, I offer that. I suggest, what depend on where the venue is. Or maybe you want to get pictures this way, or depend on what time your wedding is. Maybe we want to get these pictures here before the sun goes down. Different things like that to offer you ideas that's thought of. So my best advice would be to see a couple people, you know, get a lot of people's feedback or their experience with their photographer, and then sort of narrow it down and maybe see two or three people and let them show you the pictures, get a feel of their personality, see what the packages are like, and then you'll be able to compare between those three people who has the best offer, but also they came highly recommended and so on. Because as I say, this is, unless you plan to get married every year, this is a once in a lifetime supposedly event. um, the reason why I said it like that is some people end up getting married twice or three times, but initially you hope that's the first and the last. And if it ends up being, you will have these pictures to show your kids, your grandkids, and so on, and it will pass down from generation to generation. So you don't want to really cut costs and corners with this. Yes, you want a decent price, but you also don't want trashy pictures that you have to throw in the garbage because all the pictures are taken at the wrong angles or at the wrong time. Pictures taken with your mouth open wide while you're trying to, you know, push spaghetti down your throat or whatever. Pictures taken with people, you know, caught off guard, looking awkward and weird, you know? So, as I said, an experienced photographer that's used to dealing with weddings in particular would have more ideas than you might have thought of as to certain pictures you might want to take that you didn't think about, like pictures with the bouquet next to your shoes, or pictures with the rings next to the bouquet, and different things like that. Picture with your garter belt next to your husband's tie, all different variations of pictures that go in probably an intimate section of the album. Sometimes you put pictures all the way to the front and then you skip a page or two and then all the way down to the back. But once it's not the ones with you with lingerie and your garter belt, I think you should be okay. But different ideas of pictures you might want to take that are not, the conventional just with you in your dress and your husband in his suit. Pictures of different components of of wedding related items placed together. So if you don't have an idea, maybe he would, especially if he's been doing a lot of wedding, pictures. That's why as I said, it's better to get a referral than someone who's new to the game. They would have an idea, even if they might not have had it in their head when if they've done a lot of weddings, they would have had different ideas brought to them and different suggestions by different brides or whatever. And as a result, they will have the experience to be able to tell you, well, certain brides wanted these pictures next to this or this item next to that, or they wanted pictures with the champagne glasses with the garter belt, you know and stuff like that. or pictures with the jewelry in the champagne glass, all different combinations of pictures. So you have to have a nice rapport with the photographer beforehand, give him an idea of the type of pictures you was thinking about. He could show you, his portfolio, and you all could come up with, the best solution for your type of event as far as package is concerned. And then you'll have to ask if you want any extra pictures, that's out of the norm, whatever, of, if you have one of those limos with the that opens up at the top, if you want pictures after you leave the venue with you with your head out with your flowers waving, whatever. But it's good to have a clear understanding and try to see if you all both see on the same wavelength. So personality, professionalism, punctuality, price, all these things come into play. So, start thinking, checking out people, looking for reviews. If you're picking someone off social media, online, or whatever, look at the reviews for the person and see the people's feedback on their experience with that person. So you wouldn't have, it's already kind of a nerve-wracking kind of a day, and you hope everything goes perfect. And then you're worrying about the photographer, if the picture is going to come out right, if he's going to take pictures with the sun in your face, all different sorts of things like that. You know what I mean? So that's all I have to say on this topic today. And as you know me, it is more than likely when I'm talking about another topic, I would bring this back to because everything kind of intertwines with each other in some form or the other. So I'm sure I'll be touching on this subject again. But that's it for today. Thank you guys. Please like, share, subscribe. Love you. See you in the next video. Smooches. Ain't no question. To you I belong. And baby, you know that my love is strong. You're the hot chocolate, and I'll be your cup. Come here, my darling. Please fill me up.